Royal Enfield will sell motorcycles on Amazon in India. Let's talk about that. Let's get cracking. Good morning, people. Thank you for joining me today on Kraken's Garage. Today we're going to talk about Royal Enfield, who has opted to sell their 300 series motorcycles on Amazon in select cities in India, and how that's going to affect the industry. And I'll give my thoughts at the end on how this is going to impact globally, especially here in North America. My first introduction to the heritage British come-by Indian brand of Royal Enfield was in an old Bullet. And to me, it felt like a time capsule. It was remarkably very close to the original design of the bike and kept true to its heritage. And Royal Enfield has done a cracker of a job on producing affordable bikes in India. Now let's talk about where they're going and what's happening today. The Bullet was a proper classic. It felt that way too. It vibrated like a coin-operated massage bed in a sketchy motel. I lost one of the mirrors on the roadway within an hour of leaving the dealership, and that was probably the PDI, or pre-delivery inspection, when I demoed that bike. During that test drive, I got to ride through rain, wind, traffic, rolling green hills, and it just performed phenomenally. And I was blown away at the price point of what Royal Enfield was doing here. So I had high hopes for the brand, and I saw them rise to the top and do a marvelous job on their marketing, and they've since branched out to larger bore bikes and done a great job. Many of my friends, Moz42 out in North Queensland rides one and loves it to death, and several other of my friends enjoy them as well. Now, I don't understand why Royal Enfield did this, to opt to sell on Amazon. You're eliminating the dealer. Next problem is you're going to have warranty repairs, and there's always warranty repairs on lower end bikes with stuff that craps out on a regular basis. Another friend of mine here in Virginia had the Himalayan, and the compass on his kept crapping out, and it was in the shop for many times for that reason, as well as some other electrical gremlins. How does that work when you buy from Amazon? They're going to obviously direct you to your nearest Royal Enfield dealer, and how's that reception going to go from the dealer who just got eliminated by the manufacturer by selling on Amazon? Therein lies the problem. There's going to be some friction there between the dealer and the people that buy on Amazon, and Amazon has the ability to run their sales for targeted holidays and things of that nature, and they'll undercut the selling dealers of the price of their bikes if they choose to do so. It's not uncommon to find products sold on Amazon that are sold at my local stores for a heck of a lot cheaper. So how's this going to impact the world? And I think this will be something to keep an eye on. I think that if Royal Enfield experiences a reasonable amount of success with this brand marketing on a media platform like Amazon, I think you will see it broaden the horizons, and this is opening up Pandora's box for other dealers that are trying to be more profitable. Is that going to happen to KTM or Harley Davidson or Indian Motorcycles or Honda's, the big four Japanese, et cetera, et cetera? I don't agree with that. At the end of the day, I will always need a dealer when I cannot fix the problem myself. And I have to build a relationship with that dealer, and that will ensure that I will get proper servicing and parts and support when I need it. So I think you kind of alienate the dealer with this type of selling platform. I think in the long run that's going to bruise their customer base. Mark my words, you will see this happen in other countries as a result of this experiment with Amazon and Royal Enfield. What I meant by Pandora's box is once you open this, it's kind of like here in North America. When they get the laws passed and say, all right, you can charge a processing fee for handling the paperwork or whatever spin they put on it, that dealers spin on it. Those processing fees started at a minimal 40, 50 bucks, that type of thing. In today's world, they're anywhere from $200 to $700. Now, as people know that have watched my channel, I worked in the automobile industry and I was a general manager of a GM dealership for a couple of decades. The processing fee is nothing but cash to Hip National Bank for whoever owns the dealership, or in this case, the company. Will there be a processing fee on the Indian sold bikes? I will look and find out when they get up and live and rolling. So if this unfolds the way I think it's going to unfold, I think you're going to see the erosion of more dealers as a result of selling on the net. And I think that will branch out to other continents and other countries here in North America as well. Ultimately, you'll have a short-term rise in sales, but the long-term effect of bruising your customer base and your dealers is going to be a thumbs down and going to come back and bite you in the rear end. Let me know your thoughts down below on what you think of this situation, and do you view it as a positive or a negative? I'd be interested in hearing the public's thought. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned something today. And remember, folks, go riding because it's good for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.